What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your guy, SumnSumnSumn. Hit the keys. Here today to do a quick review and demonstration over Panflow by Audiomodern. Panflow is a free panning tool that allows you to draw your panning patterns into the plugin, and it also has a couple cool features that no other panning plugin really has. Make sure if you guys do like this content though, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell so every time we bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. But let's go ahead and get right into this review. Sum, hit the key. All right, guys, so when you open up the plugin, it's going to look like this. The GUI is initially ginormous when you open it up, but if you come down here to the corner, it is scalable. So boom, you can shrink it just like that. We'll go ahead and leave it like this size for now. And as you look here at the plugin, it does look like most of Audiomodern's other plugins like Chord Jam and Play Beat and so on and so forth. As you're looking at it here, this is obviously where you're going to do all the drawing of your patterns. You have a randomize button right here to where you can randomize the patterns and all that stuff. You have a bunch of different controls like complexity controls, the way that the curves are going to go. You have designs. I'm going to go over all this in detail. I made a little sample beat as always. I use Panflow on the hi-hats for the beat. It's not all the way mixed down as always, but let's go. All right, guys, so that's the little sample beat that I put together for you guys today. Let's go ahead and hop right back into Panflow. So I'm going to pull it up where I have it here on this hi-hats to start. We'll try it on a few different instruments so you guys can kind of get a feel and a taste for it. So boom, let's go ahead and pull this back up. We're going to go ahead and get this into place as well. So boom, again, the GUI is scalable. So now as we look at this plugin, it's pretty nice because you can sync it obviously to BPM pretty easily. Up here, you have, you can load presets, you can save presets really simply. Right here, you can go back, so you can undo or you can redo, which is good. It's got MIDI out controls and all that stuff. You come over here to the settings and then you can route everything as you like as well. You got a little info tab. So then right here, we have speed. And so speed basically controls how fast the effect takes place. So right now it's on 2 bars, but as you see here, you can make it go 1 bar, 4 bar, 8 bar, 16 bars, however many bars you want it to go. And that basically means that from the start to the end, this is 2 bars. And I'll go ahead and push play so you can see what I'm talking about. So you see how that was 2 bars? You can change it to 1 bar so that this is only 1 bar. And so on and so forth. You can make it go all the way up to 16 bars if you want to. And so then you see how, it's going extra slow. So pretty cool feature right there. Right here is basically the size of the grid. So this doesn't control any of the sound, but this will control like where you can place nodes. So, you can change it to 164. So you see now I can place nodes in more places. Or if, you put it on 1-1, then it's super small and you can only place nodes at the end, so on and so forth. So another cool feature as well. Right here, you have complexity. So with this right here, this works hand in hand with this dial right here. This is randomized. So this will actually randomize the pattern for you. So if I push it, boom, you see how it randomized it. This is a pretty simple pattern. Sounds like this. But this is the medium complexity. So if I push this down, you see the pattern is going to be a little more complex, no matter how many times I do it. And then right here, you have a complex pattern. So as you can see, it's more complex. Next to that, you have basically your shape size. So it's basically whether it's going to be a curve, it's going to be a saw, or it's going to be straight. So like if I push randomize, you see how there's no curves in the lines. If I push it again, there's no curves. It's all straight up and down. Now, if I push this one right here, there's going to be curves. And if I push this one right here, it's going to be steps. Got to push randomize though. But then you see now it's on steps. So the step feature is pretty cool when you're messing with like melodies and stuff. It makes it sound pretty cool. It kind of gives it like a little stutter. Not really, but it's like a false stutter. And so now we get over here. Now this is the original part where it's different than any other panner out, because what it has is it has a randomize feature. So this infinity right here basically means that every time that it goes around, the pattern changes. So I'm going to push play and you're going to watch that every single time that it goes around, the pattern changes. You can change like how many times it goes around before the pattern changes. But we're just going to leave it at 1 now, and then just check. You'll see the pattern changes every time. So that's a cool feature. Obviously it can auto do your panning for you, make the job a lot easier. Below that, you have bypass. So you can turn bypass all the way on and it'll bypass everything. So you see how it's not panning. And then over here, you have a button where you can just push it down as it's playing to bypass it while it's playing. And so you see how that worked. So let's go ahead and put this on another instrument for a little bit so that you guys can hear what it sounds like on something else. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw it on this these piano chords that I have. So let's go ahead and pull Panflow back up. So those chords just basically sounded like this. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put it on step. We're going to hit randomize again real quick, put it on complex, boom, bam. So now let's listen to it. So you hear how it's kind of giving it like a false stutter effect, but it's not really stuttering. It's more of a panning. Down here, you have smoothing. So you can smooth out how smooth the panning is. So let's see if I push play. So you can hear how it's not as stiff. Obviously it's a lot smoother than if I put it down here. So like down here, you can hear a little bit of the clicking and stuff like that. Next here, we have snap to grid. So you can either, if you have snap to grid on, obviously you can only place nodes in the spots of the grid. So, you're going to push left click, and wherever you left click, you're going to get nodes. But if you turn snap to grid off, you can put the nodes wherever you want to. So you can add nodes in the middle, or wherever it is that you want to, you can add those nodes. And then even if you hit the snap to grid button back on, it doesn't force these nodes onto the grid. It lets them stay where they're at. So that's pretty cool as well. You have a button next to here. So this is a lock button. So this lock button basically allows you to click on a node. So once it goes all the way white, it allows you to lock those nodes. And so then if you were to push randomize, those nodes are going to stay locked wherever they were. No matter how it randomizes, those nodes will always stay where they're supposed to be at. So, another cool feature. Over here, we have some patterns built in. So boom, if you push that button, that's the default pattern. Obviously, it left the nodes where I had them. So I got to, set the pattern again. Let's turn these off real quick. Boom. All right, so this is one of the default patterns that you can pick from. So this is going to be the curve pattern. Sounds like this. Next to that, you have another pattern. It's like this. So it's pretty nice. And then next to that, you have this pattern right here. So now what you can also do is you can hit reset, boom, and it'll clear that off for you. Let's just go ahead and hit randomize again. Over here, you have your wet dry knob. So this is basically, you know, you can obviously add in as much of the panning effect that you want to. Down here, you have a threshold. So what the threshold basically does is it only pans things that are under the threshold. So if I put the threshold all the way down here, it's not going to pan anything. But as I start lifting it up, everything that's underneath the threshold will get panned. So, you know, another cool effect. I forgot to mention this right here. This bar right here, let's say you want to just change your pattern on the fly. Now you can pull back this right here, and it will only play what is highlighted. So and then you can also move this region around. So you can move it around however you want to. And then, you know, you can just pan that part of the region as well. So that's pretty dope. Let's go ahead and stretch this back out. Over here, you have a range. So this range basically allows you to change how much of the curve is playing. So like, let's say I pull this down a little bit, boom, you see how it's automatically shaping that curve for me. And if I pull this up, this is the right side. So the bottom is the right side, the top is the left side. And you see how just that simple, I can change the curve and I can narrow out the panning. Well, underneath that, I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but there's two arrows and a dot in the middle. So if I push that down and it highlights it, now I can move this region wherever I want to. So I can pan this all the way up to the left, or I can move this down and I can pan this all the way to the, you know, the right, or whatever it is that I want to do. So that's pretty cool. Underneath that, what's cool about Audiomodern too is that it's really easy to make presets. So all I have to do is hit plus, bam, now that preset is saved. So if I was to hit randomize, let's go ahead and open this range back up. Whoops. Let's go ahead and open this back up and hit randomize. And let's go ahead and save that pattern too. Now let's go ahead and randomize one more time. So now I can just go back to this first pattern really easy, go back to the second pattern really easy. And then, you know, you can save it really easy as well. So you see when you put it in 1 and 2, it automatically gives you a quick preset. You can save the name, or you can save the name like this, you know, and then boom, hit save, and you've saved that preset. So that's basically the plugin for you guys in a nutshell. It's a pretty simple plugin to use. I think all Audiomodern's plugins are really user friendly. This is a very, very solid panning tool, especially the infinity part, where you can make it randomize your panning every single time it goes around. I feel like that's going to be a slept on feature in this plugin, but that probably is the dopest feature in this plugin because it just changes the sound of whatever it is that you're using. So make sure if you guys like this content though, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell. So every time I bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. Appreciate you guys' time as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
All right, guys and gals, thanks for watching the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe and like button. Make sure you hit that notification bell so every time a new video comes out, you can be the first to know. Let me know what tutorials you want to see next in the comments, and see you next time.
Some, hit the key.